Good morning and welcome to the Elevate Renatus team call. This is your host, Keely Austin. Today is Thriving Thursday. It's October 22nd. I'm excited and grateful to be here with you this morning as your host. We've got a great training today, but first, a couple of quick announcements. Our quote of the day is, I am responsible for every result in my life. If I want different results, I have to change my thoughts and actions. I thought that would go well with our mindset and personal development training with Wanda today. And a couple of dates we want to take note of coming up in just 2 days, actually tomorrow. Tomorrow and Saturday, we've got 2 full days of awesome training. One of the days will be more localized with our region. The other day is going to be a national leadership training. We're going to be learning from top income earners from around the country, and especially this regionals, more than any of the other ones that I've ever attended. I feel like this one's crucial because of the big shift that we've all experienced this year, and a lot of us have had to change what we're doing within our businesses. So this is a great opportunity for us to learn from top income earners and to learn from them what's working for them and what types of shifts have they had to make this year, what types of adjustments have they had to make. So this is going to be really awesome. So excited. If you've got guests coming, this is a really, really powerful exposure for your guests. So make sure you've still got all day today to work on getting people present tomorrow for the awesome training. So I'm really excited for that. Also, we have our dates for Renatus National Conference. Our national conference we have once a year, usually in spring, and it's an absolute blast. Usually we'll all meet up in Utah, and it's a big hug fest. It's so much fun. But this year, or excuse me, next year, 2021, we will be meeting online, and it's going to be for 3 days of awesome training. We had our nationals last year online, and it turned out really, really great. I was very pleased with the results, even though I didn't get my usual hugs from everybody. So that's okay. Mark your calendar for March 18th through the 20th for our 2021 Renatus National Conference. Also, we have our dates for Leaders Retreat. We're going to Cabo San Lucas, Mexico, August 13th through the 17th, 2021. Every year, Bob picks a beautiful place somewhere on the world for us to go and rub shoulders from other leaders. And we also get to do as much or as little as we want. That's something I really love about Leaders Retreat, is you can spend a day just on the beach if you want to, or you can go do all the fun excursions. There's so much to do, and it's an absolute blast. I'm so excited for Leaders Retreat next year. And if you have not already, check out this website. It's oes.com. Michael Huggins and his team have put this together for us. There's a short video, it's about 6 minutes, and it goes over what's the OES and what comes with it. The OES is nothing new, it's the optional event subscription. And because of the OES, we're able to have a lot of support daily and weekly in our support systems. So with that being said, we've added a couple of new events for our support systems. Every week on Thursday at 6 p.m., we are doing a weekly private capital masterclass, and that is for AIT students only, because the requirement for this is that you have gone through at least the private and hard money class in our education, among a few other of the classes built around private capital. Dane Clark has done a great job at implementing what he's learned from these classes and has created massive success around building capital. So Dane is actually the one who is facilitating this for us, and it's been really, really great. So make sure that you're tuning in every week on Thursday at 6 p.m. Mountain Time for the weekly private capital masterclass. Every day after our morning call, so directly after this call at 9 a.m. Mountain Time, we are doing a dream call, daily real estate action mastermind. So watch your classes, write down action steps, write down questions, and bring these to this call and discuss it with people who maybe have a little bit more experience and can help guide you in what steps you may need to take next. So this has been a really, really powerful call, usually about 30 to 45 minutes. Also, we've added on Fridays to our morning calls. If you've been around for a while, you know that we've been doing Monday through Thursday for many years. And just as of a few weeks ago, we've added on Fabulous Friday Morning with Lily Puertas from 8 to 9 Mountain Time. And those have been great so far. Love learning from Lily. And one last thing to cover with you all is that we have a daily get to know you call. This has just been added on as of the last few weeks. Scott Rowe and Michael Huggins are getting together every day at noon Mountain Time for just 15 minutes. It's a short and sweet exposure for your guests. It could be a first exposure or it could be the fifth exposure. It doesn't really matter, but what they're doing is sharing a story of someone who's reached success within the company, and they're adding all of these to YouTube, so you can actually find these on YouTube on our YouTube channel. Just search for Zoom Up and you'll see all of the different options that you can take the link and share it to your guest. So again, these are only 15 minutes. You can tune in live by visiting bit.ly/ZoomUp with a capital Z. Yesterday's house tour was really cool. We did a house tour last night, every Wednesday night. Just gonna find my notes on the numbers here. So every Wednesday we do a house tour in the English language, and it's a fantastic exposure for your guests. If you have not been getting your guests there, you might want to think about doing that next week. So this was Ines's deal, and it's actually a baby from one of her previous deals that paid for the entire thing, which was really awesome. So Ines has done multiple deals since joining Renatus, and so from one of her last deals, she was able to fully fund this next property where she's actually going to be living in it, as well as renting out a space in it. And she'll be living for free as well as gaining cash flow. So really, really cool deal. Congratulations, Ines. And it was a little bit different. It's a buy and hold, and it was paid for from one of her previous deals. So that was just a bit different than what we've usually seen. Usually people are using hard money or private money. And usually our tours are of a flip. So this was cool to see a different example, and just to show our guests the wide range of options that we have with the transactions that we do. So on with our events for the week. Every Tuesday, we have a profits intro. Michael Huggins has been facilitating that, doing a great job. We've got people from all around the world tuning in. We also, as I mentioned, have our house tour in English every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Mountain Time. Every Thursday, this is everything that we've got going on Thursday. We've got quite a few things to choose from. We have a house tour in Spanish. So if you have any Spanish speaking guests and you want to include them into the house tour that we did the night before, this is a great opportunity to get them introduced. We also have the Pillars of Wealth intro presentation. We have a follow-up and funding webinar. We have an onboarding session for new students as well as guests. We have a couple of essentials masterminds offered in both English and Spanish. We have our business development mastermind, as well as 4 different real estate study groups. So you can join the study group on fix and flip, wholesaling, multifamily, or short-term rental, depending on what your focus is. I mentioned already, we are recording these. You can find them on both YouTube as well as Facebook. You definitely want to be a part of our Facebook page, Renatus Team Elevate. This is where you can catch all of the recordings, as well as keep up with important announcements. And then our YouTube channel, I mentioned, has our Zoom Up calls there, as well as all of these trainings. So you can tune into the YouTube channel, Elevate Renatus, and find these recordings there. Today we get to learn from Wanda Carrasquillo. Wanda is an amazing individual. I'm so grateful that we get to spend an hour with her every single Thursday. Wanda has brought a focus of mindset and personal development to our calls, and does a really great job at relating that to our business and our marketing side of our business. Before Renatus, Wanda was working, sorry, I totally just threw myself off. Before Renatus, Wanda had earned herself 2 master's degrees in education despite many life challenges. Wanda was born in Puerto Rico, and in her career, she succeeded in many ways, only to an extent where she would hit a ceiling each time she tried to reach higher. Wanda has an entrepreneurial spirit, and when she was working, she was always trying to, have some type of business side gig going, and those never came to fruition, and never really accomplished much in those business attempts. I'm sure that was frustrating. And so Wanda found Renatus, and when she found Renatus about 4 years ago, that was a great opportunity for her to let her entrepreneurial spirit shine. In her first 8 months in Renatus alone, she earned herself 6 figures and has continued to do so each year after. And also, Wanda has completed around 20 real estate transactions. She's also on the PIT team, recognized by our CEO as a key leader. The PIT team is the President's Advisory Council in training. Wanda has built a large team of entrepreneurs, which allows them to succeed as she has. We are very, very fortunate to get to learn from Wanda this morning, so take notes. I'm excited for what she has to share. Good morning, Wanda. How are you?
Good morning, Kelly. Thank you so much for the introduction. And thank you guys for being here today. This is awesome. Every week I just get excited, and I'm always thinking about what I'm going to be presenting on Thursday and trying to grasp information from videos, from books, from everything, so I be prepared to share with you some tips on how to really improve personally and tie that into your business. How everything is in your mindset that you can improve your business as well. So that's pretty much my main focus here, is to help you develop that mindset of a millionaire, of an abundance. And I early in my career with Renatus, I learned from Michael to be in an abundance mindset. And that had helped me so much. And now I see abundance everywhere. And instead of focusing on things that doesn't serve me and things that drag me down, I focus on looking at everything in a positive way, and everything is in abundance. If you look outside, the trees have like many, many, many leaves. You can even count them. If you look at the sand at the beach, it's like full. You can not even count how many billions and trillions of sand grains are there, right? And even your hair, you don't even know how many hair strands you have. So all of that is being created in abundance, everything around you. But how you project that and how you really set that into your life will affect your decisions. And I remember Michael have shared with us the mindset of a rich person and the mindset of a poor person is depending on the decisions that they make. And you can evaluate your prospect according to this chart. I asked Kelly to upload this little skit that Michael had posted before, and he have gone over that before, but it's really about.
Did you want me to share my screen and show those on here?
Wonderful, wonderful. Yes, please.
Okay.
That would be wonderful. Thank you. So we have a team effort here. It's just awesome. And anyway, the way that you can kind of evaluate your guests and your customers and your prospects on what kind of mindset they already have. Once you define their mindset, then you can decide, okay, I'm going to help them to evaluate and to rethink their perspective, or you can probably say, some people unfortunately will not be changing their mindset. There are some people that are so set in what they believe and the way they act that it's pretty much kind of very, very, very difficult to even propose a change on their mindset because they're already set. But you can definitely evaluate where they at, and then you decide how are you going to work with this prospect. Are you sure? Okay, now. So this is actually a screenshot that I took from Michael. So those are Michael's writing. And when you look at your prospect, you're going to evaluate how are they making their decision, how their mindset had changed. And you look at poor people, rich people, or poor mindset and rich mindset, right? So people who make decisions really slowly they change very quickly. And I was thinking about this and I'm like, oh no, when I saw Renatus for the first time, right, right immediately, I saw the presentation and I'm like, I made my decision. I'm buying this thing. I don't know, I don't have the money, but I'm gonna find a way because I want this. It was a very quick decision. And slowly, I'm now changing my mindset. This is what it is. I'm gonna stick with this, right? Um, but I have seen a lot of my prospects who take some time to make decisions. They take the longest time, and I'm following up, following up, following up. They finally make the decision, but quickly they change their mind and then they rescind the decision. So that's how you can evaluate the way that these individuals work in their mindset. And you can say, okay, and we have the drive and we have everything else in our toolbox to evaluate how we're going to deal with the customers and the prospects. But honestly, this one right here gives us a more direct perspective on the kind of mindset, because that one is go directly into the mindset. And it's important. It's important for you to understand how that individual is going to make their decisions on buying our services. How are they going to really continue on? I was very impressed on seeing, and I'm so impressed and I'm so proud of Inez. Inez is in my team. And oh my goodness, this girl, she started, when she started, I think it's about the same time that I started. So maybe 3 years after I started. But she was coming to the meetings with her baby in her stroller and in the car seat and learning and learning and learning. And look at how she's being able to transform herself and apply all her knowledge into the way that she's making more money now, and being able to purchase that property basically in cash with her own capital. And that's what the Renato's wealth cycle is teaching us. You can do fix and flip, yes, to create that massive income, but eventually what you want is to create your own capital to put it into your investments. And yes, we learn how to raise capital and all of that. That's because we want to start that way. But eventually, your focus should be on creating your own capital so you can invest from your own money and you don't have to pay big interest on hard money lending. So I am so proud of Inez for that. And I don't know if she's in the line. Sometimes she jumps in the calls, but if she's listening to this, you know that I love you. I love you, Inez, for everything that you've been doing and so on. And if you see, she's very careful. She's an executive, so she makes her decision and she's slowly not changing her decision. So thank you so much for that. This is a good segue now to pass into a book that I studied this week. And this book, I have met the author, is Richard Paul Evans, and he did the Christmas House, and he became very, very famous. He's very famous. He had done about 36, 40 some books. And the book is The 5 Lessons a Millionaire Taught Me. So in this book, he goes over the 5 lessons. And the first one, the very, very first one is, decide to be wealthy. This one is related to the fact that you're going to visualize that all the time. See, you have the mindset. You want to be, if you evaluate on the scale, your mindset of a rich person or the mindset of a poor person, or a poor mindset or a rich mindset. I don't want to denigrate anybody, but you said, you know what? I am wealthy. And Michael often said, I am a millionaire. the money will catch up to me. And if he sees like a penny on in the floor or something, he picked it up and said, see, it just comes in different varieties and at different times. So when you have the mindset of a millionaire, that is amazing. That's what you're going to be focused. You just continue on and continue on. The money will catch up with you. It doesn't matter. And it's interesting because in the book it says that millionaires don't worry about money. But when we are like in the poor mentality and that the mentality of I don't have this, I need this, then that's where you attract those things and you stay where you at. But when you take those things away, and it's interesting how you see everything kind of flow into your lap because you have that mentality of moving forward, of being positive, and so on. So that very first one, the have that mentality of wealth is so important. Abundance, wealth. Yes, you probably have your situations, and remember that I don't use the word problems, I word situations. You probably have your financial situations, your financial challenges, but don't focus on that. Just focus on the wealth because that will come. And the day will come when you can say, ah, I pay all my financial responsibilities. And you know it's coming. But maybe in the process, you have to continue to grow and prepare to receive what you ask to become, right? Because the universe will not be giving you something that you're not going to be a good steward of it. And that's something that I learned from a millionaire, from Bob Snyder, that he said when he became a good steward of his money, that's when he really kept it. So that's a very, very interesting way of looking at things. And in this book, the second lesson that he learned from this millionaire is take responsibility for your money. And honestly, this one sinks very deep on my heart because I gotta be honest, I love to travel. I love to travel. So the year before this pandemic, last year in 2019, I went to 10 different countries. So you imagine if I did all that many travels, I spent a lot of my money. So, so that was not probably a good decision in my probably my business at that moment, but I enjoyed it because that's the thing that I want to do. But it's okay. What I'm trying to say here is that now I am at this point that I said, you know what, it needs to stop. I need to reevaluate where I'm at. I enjoy my travel and everything, but I like to do it more consciously. So the author here, he says, when you are responsible for your money, number one, you're gonna know how much money you have. You have to know how much money you have. Number two, you need to know where your money comes from. Where are your source of income? I personally now have two sources of income. I have my real estate source of income and my marketing source of income. But you know that even in the classes, for you to create wealth, you want to have multiple sources of income because when one doesn't come through, you have the other ones. You also want to keep your job, you know, keep your job until you make double in your business what you make in your real job. That's kind of the formula. You really need to keep that one. And the number three in this area, the author said, know where your money is going. Where your money is going. You know where it's coming from, but you know where it's going. Are you paying your mortgage? Are you paying your car? Are you paying your bills? Which bills do you have? And so on. And then after that, the third lesson is to keep a portion of for yourself. You're going to keep a portion of everything you earn. You suggest the 10%, and I heard different things like you have the 20-80 rule, but in this one in money, so you give 10% to your charity, you give 10% to yourself, and then you keep 80% to continue evolving and to continue investing. So those are kind of formulas that you have in that people teach, right? And then the lesson number 4 is win in the margins. Win in the margins, and this means that you have to keep look at the ways that you produce. How are you producing the money? How are you really living your life? So you're gonna stay in that margin. Don't go overboard like I did. Just keep yourself in within that margin. In Spanish, there's to say that you're going to put your blanket all the way to your feet, right? That covers yourself. Don't pull it more that your feet are outside the blanket, okay? So basically, and it doesn't make sense pretty much in English probably, but it's to say, so when you put your blanket on top of you, then that covers your entire body, but don't leave your feet out. So basically, those are things that are important. And then the 5th lesson is to give back. I love this one because even before Renatus, I had a nonprofit organization. I haven't worked on it for the last years that I've been in Renatus, but basically that was kind of my passion. I love to give back. I love to go in these trips to help others who were in need. And I went to Ecuador once when they had the earthquake. We brought 141 bags of supplies to Ecuador. And I saw miracles after miracles after miracles, taking that load to Ecuador. And the load got there even before I got there. It was amazing. One day, probably, I tell you all those stories and miracles that can happen when you have the good desire to do good with your money. That is so important. When you have that relationship with money, that you know that money is a tool. It's a tool for you to bless others, your money will come. When the universe, the Lord, or whomever you believe, whatever you believe, understand that you are responsible, that you can really be a good steward of those resources that you are acquiring, you're going to flourish. So everything is right here in your mindset. Your mindset in which you can just develop yourself to a point in which you can go higher and higher, and there's no limits. There's no limits for how much money you can make. I love this video that Kelly showed this morning. And this person being a billionaire, and he gave everything away, everything away. He wasn't even thinking about how much he's gonna leave to his children, because he said, like, I made it myself, so my children need to kind of work it out themselves, right? And sometimes we give more to our children and we don't allow them to develop their skills and allow them to really grow in that sense. So that example is so great, and I love that video because he was giving everything, even becoming poor himself, just to give everything away. So find that institution. We in Renatus, we have aligned with the Locators Foundation. And I love that foundation because it is very dear to me on things that had happened in my family and so on. So it is just find the cause. And Bob Snyder also said, if you don't have a dream, just find a cause. If you don't have a goal, find a goal, a cause that you can just work for it. Because sometimes you don't reach that potential and limits in you put a limit on your income because that makes you be comfortable. But if you want to go higher, you have to raise that thermostat to really go higher. But sometimes you're not dreaming in a big house, you're not dreaming in in big vacations. You are not dreaming of luxury cars. So that means it's like, okay. And then you just stay here in this plateau saying, oh, $5,000 a month is fine, or $10,000 a month is fine. And you don't go higher because you have been set a dream that is bigger. So if you don't have that dream that is bigger and you live comfortable right now, but you really want to do more, look inside yourself and think, what else can I do? If I have extra money, if I have extra resources, what else can I do for the world? Okay. And find that passion. Like I said, I love, I remember this day when I did one of the trips to Peru, and I had brought backpacks with school supplies because I adopted a school there. So I adopted this school, and often I went to Peru, and one time we painted the school. Another time I went with the dentist, and he gave like his services to the kids there. Another time I went with a psychologist, and they did their services. And one time I went with all these backpacks, and I delivered all the backpacks, and I had 15 backpacks left. And I said, who is going to benefit from these backpacks? So I just didn't want to just give them away. I wanted to really give it to 15 kids that were in need. And 15 kids is not a lot, okay? But I talked to a friend, and she lives in a it's very far away from Lima, Peru. And I went to that city, and I said, take me to the place that you know that I can find 15 kids that are in need. And I approached the place. I saw this lady. They were knitting in a basketball court right outside, and they have like 2 kids. So I approached them and I said, hey, can you find me like 13 more kids, because I have some things that I want to give them. And they line up, 15 kids line up. And the 16th kid came over. And that 16th person, I said, I'm so sorry, I just only have 15. Honestly, I don't know how that miracle happened, but I ended up giving 16. And my friend said, oh, Wanda, you didn't count correctly. I said, I counted correctly. I counted in Salt Lake City. I counted in Lima. I counted in my hotel room. I counted before I came here. I counted. There were 15. But we gave it to 16 kids. Don't ask me how. But when you have the heart to give and to serve, things will happen. Miracles will happen. And you will find a way. But that all comes with your mindset of abundance, with the mindset of giving, with that heart of providing for others and to inspire others to do better. That's how everything is going to evolve. And it doesn't mean that everything is going to be perfect. It doesn't mean that everything is going to happen right now. What it means is that you are developing yourself to improve and to get a better life for you and for others, that you can bless others with the tools and the resources that you have. That's what it means. So I want to open up now, we still have about 15 more minutes or a little less, to a conversation. Where you are right now in your mindset. And you can evaluate where you were when you make the decision to purchase Renatus and join this education, or on where you are now. Did you start with a mentality of a poor or a rich mentality? Which kind of mentality did you start with? I know I started with the rich mentality. I made that decision quickly because I knew what I needed, what I wanted. And then from there, I have stayed and I'm not changing my mind, right? I'm just improving every day, try to improve every day and continue to raise higher because I know that if I bless myself, I can bless others. Okay, so let me open up the conversation. Any thought, anything, any good take of what I just shared with you? Who would like to come up mute?
Wanda, it's Isaac.
Hi, say hello.
How's it going? How are you?
That's my favorite boy now. I love seeing you in camera. I love see that you want to progress and that you want to learn. Yes, chair.
Yeah, it's been good joining Renatus. But yeah, I wanted to just kind of share and touch on what you basically just shared with us today, basically about starting off. I mean, it took me a while to kind of jump on to the boat with Renatus. So like I'll admit, like I did kind of have like a poor people mentality mindset. I just was very hesitant, like I wasn't really sure what I was joining and stuff. So I think just being more, just going to these property tours, the Saturday events and all that really kind of help open my eyes and be more open to the idea. So it took me a while, and I'm really happy that I did make that decision because it's been the best decision I've made. Literally, it's been amazing. And one thing I also wanted to touch on that you mentioned a lot earlier on the book was that you kind of like, the way I like interpret it was like not being attached to money and not being attached to the end result. And I think that was something I was struggling a lot lately. Is I was like so obsessed about, I want to get here, I want to get here. And like this past week, I went to the mountains with my family and just took the week off, or the weekend off. And I think that really helped just to let go of being so attached to the results and where I want to be. And it just kind of helped kind of keep a peace of mind. And that's one thing for me, is that I really think it's important for me to stay calm and be, subtle and be at a peace of mind, because then I'll start getting anxiety and I'll start, freaking out and being so attached to getting where I want to be. And I just really appreciate you sharing what you just about the book, about just not being attached to money and not being attached to all these wants and needs that you want. Of course, you obviously want to work towards it, but just it'll come in the right time, essentially.
Thank you, Isaac, for sharing this. And as you were just expressing your feelings, um, I don't want to put you down or anything, but according to that table that I shared at the beginning, you started kind of in the poor mentality of saying, okay, I need to take my time. What is this? Maybe it's a scam. Maybe it's this. Maybe it's that. And then you make the decision. So because you made that decision, what I want you to start thinking, especially now that you are in this anxiety, because you are attached to the results that you needed and you wanted it. And when you need or want something, you are speaking from the lack of. And that needs to be getting out of your vocabulary. I don't need anything. I don't want anything. I know where I'm going. And I want you to visualize yourself like entering a 5K race. And thinking about the results that you want to be the first on getting to the finish line. But I want you to visualize that you enter that race and that you're going to finish the race, that you're not quitting the race. Because otherwise, you will switch to quickly changing your mind. And when you quickly change your mind, what do? You quit. And I don't want you to quit, because I like to see that pretty face in these cameras every week. So I want you to detach yourself from that result and say, you know what? I don't know if you mind saying your age, but how old are you now?
I'm 20 years old.
Oh my goodness. Isaac, you have your entire life in front of you. I wish I had this education at 20, and I finished my bachelor's degree at 21. So, and the return on investment on my bachelor degree have not given me as much as this education. So I wish I have finished my bachelor degree and get this education, and I would be a millionaire by now in actual bank account because I know I'm a millionaire and the money is catching up to me. But I'm 57 now, and it is like I have wasted all these years on trying one thing, trying another one, try another one, try another one, trying this, trying that, and not having the results. And now that I attempted this and having results, not yet where I want to be, but having little results have given me the opportunity to say, you know what? I'm in the right vehicle. I'm in the right opportunity. I don't have to look any further. I just need to concentrate and apply this education and review even the courses. I'm going back now to my essentials courses and trying to review them and trying to grasp other things that I probably overlooked when I started Renatus and rethink my business and restructure. But I'm thinking this is the right path. And I'm telling you, if I have my grandmother's genes, I have 50 more years to go. She's 105. And I always tell her that I'm going to outlive her for 2 years. So that means I will be 107 years old when I die. I've been proclaiming this since I was young because I always tell her that I'm going to be outliving her. So basically, is at my point now, what am I going to do with these next 50 years in my life? For you, you are 20, 50 more, that's 70. What are you going to do with these next 50 years of your life? You now, Isaac, have the tools, you have the resources, and you have this support with this wonderful community that you're not alone. You're not right, you're not in this race by yourself. So don't worry, you know there's a finish line over there. We just need to stay and hold together to stay in the path. Don't quit. And if you fall, we're here to support you and bring you up again. And let's keep going. You saw the result from Juan on these properties, 18 years old and doing the deals. And he's able to do it. I know it's possible. I don't gonna guarantee that everybody can do it. If I do it, if I did it, you can do it. I'm not gonna guarantee that, but if I did it, it's possible. If I did it, it's possible. And if I did it once, I can do it again, right? That's another thing. So what I want all of you to know is that you are in the right path. You have the tools and you have the knowledge. What you need to work is in here. That's why I have taken this direction of showing and in helping you improve personally. Because until you start raising that thermostat and your money relationship thermostat, things are not going to happen. So start evaluating and look at the chart again. Can you pull that one again, just to finalize my thought? The chart with the poor mentality and the rich mentality.
Yes.
And thank you, Kelly. And if you analyze yourself and say, okay, where I was when I purchased, or where I am at now. Some people switch and go to the left instead of staying in the right. So it is important that you said, this is where I'm at, this is where I was, or this is where I'm going. If you're still slowly making decisions and quickly changing your mind, you know where you're at. And that is stopping you from progressing and getting higher. If you're right now thinking about quitting, that is a change of mind. And you don't want to change your mind because you know this is the right path. You've seen it. If it's not happening to you, it's not maybe the company, it's not maybe the service, maybe you. Remember, there are 3 reasons for us to progress. There's problem with the company, or problem with the service, or problem with yourself. And most likely, you know for sure the company is A+ rating. So Renatos is top of the line. And the service are top of the line. I have been in education for almost 20, 30 years or so. And this education is top of the line. So the other component is yourself. What is in here, what you put here every day is going to help you to switch to the left, to the right side and say, I can make quick decisions. Yeah, I need to purchase this property. Let me purchase it, but I'm going to make it work. I'm going to help someone with this situation. So that's what I have for today. We have probably 5 more minutes. So anybody wants to share a last thought?
Hey, Wanda.
Hi, Hilda.
Unless, somebody else is going to come, because I want to make sure people would, be able to use your 5 minutes. But if nobody will come, I'll tune in.
I just wanted to make a comment about the backpacks. I think that was a wonderful story, and I'm older than you, Wanda. Never look back at your life and think that you wish that you could have gotten the information sooner. All of the experiences that you've had over the course of your life, you were there for a reason, and a lot of the knowledge that you gained indirectly is useful to you now, so that you can bring even more people up.
Thank you.
Because that's the kind of person you are. And it helped to cultivate you as a person.
Thank you. That's true. That's true. Because honestly, yeah, I will not probably be the same person right now, right? Because of these experiences have made me who am I now. And yeah, thank you for those words that I probably needed. I really needed them.
My pleasure. I think you're phenomenal, honestly, because for you to go and get the backpacks and the one more child comes, that's a real miracle right there, because you had already counted them so many times.
Yes.
And I know you've had other instances in your life where you probably counted or something happened. It's like, oh, I have extra, because whenever, and I notice for myself, whenever I'm doing something for other people and I'm not trying to be selfish about it, it's like God will step in and take it the rest of the way, all the time.
Hey, Wanda. Wanda, you're like a slingshot. Every time God pulls you back, it propels you forward.
Hey, I love that.
We should start giving out slingshot awards. I remember the day Wanda got fired. It was the greatest day of her life when she got fired from JetBlue. Remember you told Michael you didn't know what to do? And he said, I got plans for you.
Thank you so much, Pete. I appreciate your words. And that is amazing. Yes, definitely. I probably would have not used that money correctly if I had become or have this information at 20 when I was in my 20s. So this is the right time. This is the right moment, because I still have 50 more years to go if I outlive my grandma, right? So I'm carefully designing and
You're
my
just a
future
baby, Wanda.
Towards
What
that,
a wild 50 years you're going to have.
Thank you.
You're just a baby.
I can't wait to see what happens to you in
much.
50 years.
Thank you. So we are pretty much at the top of the hour. We have to end because we have to start the next meeting. Gilda, if you have 1 minute, I can let you just share
Okay.
something.
Well, actually, I just wanted to, share. I was definitely in the rich mindset, because when I attended Scott, with the presentation, the intro, I was told at that time, I gotta have this. Of course, I was doing my due diligence, but I made a decision at that time. And what's so important is, to make that decision. And what I realized is just this, education. It's so, powerful, and there's nothing like this out there. And and what's the most important thing is, what we're becoming. Not only that, what we're becoming, and how we're able to help not just our family and other people, and whatever the cause, that you are planning on doing, or even you already is thinking of doing that. So, and I think, I told Dave, and I said, because if this education, if Renata's, the education that we have right now, if this one won't work, I don't know what will. So
Yes.
I'm staying, and it's so, it's just so amazing to be able to. Now my 20-year-old is actually just like Isaac. He could be my son, Isaac. And
Yes.
so he's actually, in a middle of forming his corporation right now. He has, his, um, entity already, his name and all that stuff. So we're, working on it, and to be able to help him, with that, and to help him with his mindset, to help to stay in the rich, mindset, as opposed to the poor mindset. So that is so important. That is really important. How we can help out, again, our family, and the people in the world.
Thank you
So
so much.
thank
And
you,
to
Wanda.
thank you. The book reference is in the chat in our Facebook group, and also the 5 principles and this the leader square that you saw. So all the resources are posted in the chat, and you just can refer to those and read the book and get more information. Thank you, guys.
Yep.
Have a wonderful. And I remember this week
Thank
it's
you, Wanda.
regionals, so sign up if you haven't, and enjoy your Friday and Saturday. I don't know if we have a call tomorrow.
No call tomorrow because of regionals.
Yeah, we
Regional.
probably
So
will. Right.
See you all tomorrow. Bye
See you
bye.
tomorrow.
We'll be watching the nationals regionals.